Just yes, yes, yes. All right, so we're gonna start standing again. So on Friday we did a little jumping jacks and stuff like that, and I had a few comments. I'm just getting about how that works for people or doesn't work for people, right? So jumping up and down and bouncing a little bit is really just to get your heart rate up and to get you a little bit warm before we do things, right? So if jumping doesn't really work for you, just try bouncing today, right? Just bouncing. So you see my feet aren't really coming off the floor, but I am kind of getting a little bit of energy going through my ankles and my knees. And then when that gets sore or tired, just start going from one foot to the other. It's a way of kind of faking out your body and kind of pretending it's not happening, right? If you want to jump, go back to your jumping jacks, right? And we do this for about a minute almost, right? Just to get ourselves warmed up, right? So it's either a little bounce, right? A little transfer of weight from one side to the other. But we want to continue to move a little bit for a few minutes, right? We just talked about just doing a toe tap with a bounce, right? Which is another way of doing it. Again, it's just getting yourself moving. So we're going to get a little bit warm before we do something good. And then that alternative is to do your jumping jacks, right? Again, you can use your arms. I always feel it a little bit easier with my arms moving than just with my arms still. Again, always going back to maybe that one foot or the other foot, but it's just constant moving, and you can feel your heart rate starting to pump. You can feel your breath starting to, get a little bit laborious there. But again, and if you just want to start, just slow it down from time to time and just lift your heels up and down, right? A little toe tap to the side, this kind of thing. It's kind of like dancing. And if we had music, it would be a lot easier. Then I really feel like Jane Fonda. Those are coming back in style, those videos, right, Jane Fonda? All kinds of interesting things are happening with this strange new time in our life. And again, just little hops and bounces. And again, we can start to feel ourselves getting a little bit warm now. Okay, so we're going to just kind of find a wall or something. We're going to bring a leg up and reach it back. And bring it up and reach it back. Now, while our legs are a little bit warm, we're going to stretch them a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Nice deep breath. Again, I'm going to try to find that calf stretch, ankle stretch, and hip stretch here. Inhaling and exhale. I can take a long line into that as well. All right, so again, you can do it with the wall or without the wall. Inhaling and exhaling. And reaching away. And then you can add both arms if you like. Again, a little standing balance challenge there. And one more time. And then guess what? We're going back to hopping. You thought it was over, right? There's a little bit of hopping. Again, just trying to loosen up your ankles. You can feel one ankle's a little looser than the other now. Nice deep breaths. Now, if you can get into your jumping jacks, do that. If not, just do your little toe taps from side to side. Yeah, take in that nice calm energy. Don't you find it's really calm everywhere now? It's like, I love that. Everything's so chill. It reminds me of when I first moved here like 20 odd years ago. Inhaling and exhaling ahead, and then we take a little pause again. So going to the other side, other leg, inhaling up, exhaling back into that stretch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, and then we can start adding that arm, so we get that nice fascial stretch from one end of your body to the other. Inhale, exhale. And if you want to do it no arms, you can do that crisscross or no hanging on. Inhale, exhale, and back. I think I did this alternating, like both arms up, both arms down. And last one, nice deep breath. And reach it back. Okay, so just standing again while we're warm, just getting a little bit of a sense of what's going on in our pelvis and our hips and our legs here and our groin, all these muscles before we start doing the core stuff. Because often when we do core work, it feeds into some of those tight muscles that are in our bigger joints, our shoulders and our hips. So here we can get to a little bit of a warm up and a chance to kind of isolate or differentiate between one muscle group and the other. So I'm going the other way. Nice deep breaths, inhaling, exhaling. Hello to anybody who's joined us now that I've managed to be able to coordinate letting people in. Inhaling and exhaling, again, lifting up through those hips. Good. And let's go into our little hip twist, right? So we're going to bend one knee, pull one hip back. This gives our IT band and lateral hip muscles a big stretch here. And then into the other side. I would love this because it's a chance for me to pull up through my core muscles as well. Think about that length through my spine. Start to take some inventory of your body, of where you are in space. Nice deep breaths as we do that. And then we'll just go into some shoulder circles. So rounding, again, you can soften the knees. You'll go into your spine as we do that. Nice deep breaths. Again, so we're really maximizing the space and the length of the fascia in our body. The fascia is like the elastic that holds you together, right? And if it's really taut, your breathing's affected by it. The length of your muscles are affected by it. So we want to make sure we're breathing nice and big here. And then into big arm movements, reaching away right from the tummy, right from the belly button out, inhaling and exhaling. And then let's do a little sloshing with that arm, as Gabe would call it. Good, just letting all the circulation go right down to your fingers there. And then a little sloshing with the other arm. And we don't want to forget about the end of our appendages, right down to the hands and things. So just go into some little wrist circles here, inhaling and exhaling. So let's make a fist as we do that. And just open them up, changing directions, and then open the palms, and we'll do the same thing. Changing directions, right? And let's do this one. I haven't done this in a while. We're going to take the palms and open them up, elbows facing forward. You can get yourself into a little bit of a lunge stance if you want. We're just going to press the wall away from us. And I'm going into a lot of wrist flexion here. So really flexing my wrists. Then I'm going to open my fingers as wide as I can as I turn them all the way around to face the floor. I'm going to get a stretch through the back and fronts of my arms. Then I'm going to start to curl my fingers in, bend my elbows. Then I'm going to lift my elbows. Now I'm making fists here as I lift my elbows. I'm going to open the arms out to the side, and then we just let them drop down. And then again, we bring them up and press the wall away, reach, and we feel that real big stretch there. Then we open the fingers, rotate the palms towards the floor, and then curl the fingers in, lift the elbows, open them up there. Good. And shake it out. Good. Okay, and roll it back down. Okay, so we're going to go down to the floor. I'm just going to adjust the view here so we can bring that down to the mat. I'm going to get down on our mats now. Again, remember to have any props that you need at hand. the cushion, the pillow, right? So we're starting on with our legs out. So if this is a position that makes your hips tight, then make sure you get a little bit of a prop in there if you need it. Okay. So if you have an elastic here, you can place it around the back of the rib cage. If you don't, you're just going to be reaching your arms straight out in front of you. Right? So your arms can just follow the line of my arms as they are, right? Yes, we're going to start with half roll back. So if you're again, your legs are grippy and you're not sitting on something, we're going to alternate a little bit between bent legs and straight legs to make sure that we're all okay with that. Okay, so nice deep breath into your back. And as you exhale, you're pulling your navel to your spine, and we're going to roll back off our sitting bones, scooping, 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 scooping. Nice deep breath in there. And then imagine you're bending over a barbed wire fence. You want to go up and over, reaching towards the wall in front of you, curling forward, and then releasing that to roll up. So we're just starting to get our core reacting to our commands here as we roll back. We're trying to get our breath happening here, big breath here. Exhale, we're going to use our core to help bring us forward a little bit. And then the rest is quite easy. It's just a little bit of hip flexion. And then we roll it up. So let's do that with straight legs a couple of times. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall. Exhaling. I like straight legs because I can squeeze my bum a little bit more here. Scooping my abdominals. Nice deep breath in there. Exhale. Again, up and over, curling over. Inhale. Rolling up to sitting position at the top. Exhale as you scoop back. Navel to spine. Squeeze the bum. Inhale. And exhale, curl it forward. And roll that up. Nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale, roll it back. So we're going to roll back with straight legs and stay there. Take a breath in, and we're going to bend one knee. And we're going to bend the other knee. And we're going to straighten the other leg and straighten it. And then bend and bend and reach and reach and bend and bend and reach and reach. Bend, bend, reach, last one, and then curl up and over and roll up to sitting position and shake out your shoulders, check your neck there. Whether you're going to take the elastic or belt or whatever you have, or if you don't have it, it's just a little bit more core work for support, right? Right, and we're going to whip that around our feet, and we want a kind of a nice short rein on that elastic. Okay, watch that you're not grabbing it for dear life, right? That just makes your shoulders tight. I got 2 fingers on it, and that's enough. So I'm going to start with my knees bent because that helps to facilitate a little bit more articulation in my lower back. So I'm going to breathe in, and as I exhale, I'm pulling my navel to my spine, squeezing my bum, rolling back off my sitting bones. Nice deep breath in there. And again, we're going to go up and over the beach ball here as you curl up. So I'm going a little bit deeper into it now, right? If you're not using the elastic, same thing applies. Inhaling and exhaling a little bit deeper than we were before. Inhaling and exhale, curl that up and forward and roll it up. And again, nice deep breath. Inhaling and exhale to scoop up. And I'm feeling like I'm stretching my spine here, like I'm lengthening it into a C curve as I curl forward, curl it all the way up. And release. Okay, so we're going to let go of the elastic and try something a little bit new today. You want to bring your legs together so they're right together. My knees are touching. Oops. And then I'm going to stretch. Let's see. So, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to roll back off our sitting bones. Then one leg is going to come up. The legs are still touching. Arms are reaching here. Now I'm going to roll back off my sitting bones a little bit more. And then I'm going to pulse up and release and pulse up. Now, if that bothers your hip flexors, just keep your leg on the ground, up. And one more time, nice deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. And then other leg, inhale, exhale to roll back, reach that leg out, and then we curl up. So we're kind of reaching up towards the top of the leg, reach and reach and reach. And then we'll bend that knee and curl all the way up and just stretch out your legs. Okay, so we're going to kind of advance that a little bit by rolling back. We're going to bring that one leg up again, and then from there, I'm going to bring the other leg up. And I'm hanging on to the back of my legs, and I'm going to roll myself down just about that far. And then from there, I'm going to try to come up. And inhale, roll back, and exhale, come up. And roll back, and inhale, come up. Right, so there's just a little crunch of those lower abdominals, and then we'll curl all the way up. And let that go. And then other leg comes up, roll back. So this is like a half roll back, but just a very mini version of it. And reach and reach, and reach. That's it. And then 3 of those is enough. Okay, so back to the elastic around the feet. Or belts around the feet. We'll take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to roll that spine out all the way to the ground now. Nice deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. Opening up through the shoulders there, and just gently glance from side to side. Make sure the collarbones are open, back of the neck is nice and long. And then we're going to start to lift my head, soften my knees, press my lower back into the floor here because it's a C curve I'm trying to create now, and not a flat spine, right? When we're rolling up, we don't want the flat back, we want the curl. We're making sure we are articulating, scooping, and again, it's a skinny reach and lengthen through my spine as I roll that out and open up my shoulders. And a nice deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. So going for lots and lots of core right from the get-go. Now, if you want to try that no elastic, fine. If you want to keep your elastic, keep the elastic. I'm going to engage my legs here as I roll back without the elastic. My arms go over my head. They give me a little bit of help here as I come up, reaching and curling. And hands stay nice and long there, reaching by the ears. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze the bum. Roll it back and open it up. So we did some of these on Friday, right? You can bend the knees if you like, if that helps. Again, it's not a flat spine you're looking for. You continue to look for flexion, curling, curling, curling in. And one last time, nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhale, roll it down. And open that up. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling to curl all the way back up again. Nice deep breath in there and exhale to release. So I sent out a video last night. You probably haven't had a chance to look at it, right? It's with the resistance bands. I'm really happy with it. It gives you a really good workout. And it certainly made me feel like I was back on the reformer a little bit, really giving you all that nice toning through the arms and legs. I know with those resistance bands, a lot of the good ones that have the smaller tension ones they're not available anymore. So I'm hoping they're going to restock shortly. But if you've got them, we're going to go over it on Wednesday. Some of you have already got your resistance bands. We're going to go over the video on Wednesday, and then we'll keep adding to it. Okay, so now we're going to turn on to our tummies here and open up our hips. Right? So actually, let's start what we did. We did a series of arm exercises on Friday. We'll go back over some of them now. Okay, so palms facing down. We're just going to sit back as we come forward. We're going to turn our palms up and press into them and then reach back. Just rock that out. We're starting to take some weight into the shoulders here, just a little bit of weight through the upper body, palms up and down. And one more time like that. Good. So this is just kind of starting to wake up the shoulders. Now we're going to come forward with the palms down and turn them up as you go back. So it stretches through the fascial chains of your arms as well. Palms down as you put your weight of your body into that. You'll notice that as you go forward, though, the wider your arms are, the better that feels on your shoulders, right? When they're really narrow, it gets really squinchy through the neck, right? And that's how we kind of determine how we're going to place our arms in any kind of four-pointed kneeling or push-up position, inhaling and exhaling. Good way to just gently warm up or wake up the arms there. So palms up there. Good. And now we're going to take our legs together. We're going to reach one leg out as you come forward. We're going to go down, 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 and up. Same leg up. So a little variation on Friday. 1, 2, 3. Press up. And again, 1, 2, 3. Press up. And let's change legs there so we have some time to do the other side. Okay, so navel to spine, keep your shoulders and hips nice and level. We're going to go forward 1, lower, lower, back. This is a great way to test out whether you can keep your shoulders in good alignment and go into those deep elbow shoulder flex positions. One more time like that. Back, 2, 3, and up. And then we'll come off our arms and straighten out those elbows because they probably need a little stretch. And then we're going to come up onto our hands and knees, right? So same thing here. Inhaling forward, exhale, press and come back. So again, we do this part just to make sure we get a nice stretch through the arms and the hips as well. Inhale and exhale, press. right? So you can decide how far or how deep you want to go into it. You really are trying to keep good form. The nice thing about being at home is you don't have that fear of competition, right? Where you have to go lower than somebody else, right? You want to go as low as you can, keep the good form in your body, right? No shoulder blades, no dropped spine. Everything's nice and supported there. And come on back. And let's do one more of those. Nice way to warm up that upper body. Inhaling and exhaling to come back. Okay, so let's drop down onto our elbows now before we go advance this too much more. Okay, so we're going to go onto our elbows and work on the back and on the butt and the legs a little bit and get them to kind of catch up to the rest of us. Right? So in this position, I'm going to press firmly into my elbows, so I'm lifting up through my shoulders. I'm not going to sink, right? Through the whole exercise, I'm working this line of my body, my lats and my arms a little bit. I'm going to draw my navel to my spine. So again, through the whole exercise, I'm engaging my core. And my legs are relatively close together. They don't have to be touching, but they're not wide here, right? They're parallel. So in this position, I'm going to breathe in, and as I exhale, I'm going to bend one knee, and I don't want to feel my hip pop up off the ground. I'm going to press my hip bone into the ground here, squeeze my bum, and pulse that. Let's just pulse that a little bit and see if we can keep our abs engaged, our shoulders down, and feel the stretch from the front of the thigh all the way down to the knee. Inhaling and exhaling there. Nice, gentle, light pulses, little hamstring work as well, and release. So navel to spine, nice deep breath in as we do the other leg. So just go at this slowly. I know the first time I did this, I could barely bend my knee and hold all the rest of me together, right? I could do one thing or the other. So it might not come in very far. And I think this hip might be a little bit tighter than the other. But I'm literally trying to reach my knee towards the bottom of the mat there. So stretching that out, little bounces there, and release. Okay, so we're just going to make this a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to pull up my kneecaps now, right? So my legs are really straight. I'm going to bend and my thigh stays hovering off the floor. Pulse, 2, 3, release. So I'm pressing my feet down into the mat. I'm using my buttocks. I'm pressing my arms down into the mat. I'm lifting up my core muscles. I'm going to try bending that knee, try to keep it off the floor. 2, 3, release. Press the feet into the mat as we go. Pulse, 2, 3, release. And pulse, 2, 3, release. Pulse, 2, 3, release. Pulse, 2, 3, release. And pulse, 2, 3, release. Good. Engaging nice and long. We're going to do palms now, down now. Take a nice deep breath in. Press into the palms. Lift your navel to your spine. Reach through those legs. Pull up those kneecaps as tall as you can. And then lower yourself back down again. We'll try that again. Inhale and exhale. Kneecaps pull up. Navel to spine. Pressing into those palms. Nice and big. Nice deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling to release. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, pull up the kneecaps, press into the arms, navel to spine, ice pick under the belly button, reach through those thighs, nice deep breath, inhaling and exhaling to come all the way down. So this is where you might want to put a pad under your head. Actually, we'll do hands under the forehead. Just give your hips a little wiggle there. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, so we're going to save a little bit of this, I think, for later. Well, let's get into a little shell stretch. Walking your knees in. Nice slow release for the spine there. Again, a little shift from side to side can help. Little reach from side to side as well can help. Navel to spine. Nice deep breaths, and then roll that up. Okay, so let's flip onto our backs now. We're going to bring our knees up to our chest. Just flattening the tummy. Let's start with some knee circles. So you just give your legs a little hug there, bring them in, circle them around. Let's go the other way a few times. Inhaling and exhaling there. So slowing down your breath. And then we're going to place our hands behind our head. Okay, so we're going to start by bringing the elbows up. That helps to bring the ribs down, lengthening the back of the neck. Breathing up into your chest. Exhale, folding forward. And I give myself a little wiggle to make sure I'm nice and flat. I'm going to take a breath in and I exhale. I'm going to reach this leg out and down. Okay, so your focus is on keeping the flatness of your tummy and not letting this all lift up for you. So that's how far you can determine how low you're going to go. So what we're going to do is just pulse that leg. I'm pressing down as if I'm pushing down on a cushion. Bring the legs in, put your head down if you need to, so you can take a pause there or keep it up. Up the head comes again, nice deep breath in, reach the leg out, and exhale, pulse, 2, 3, 4. I'm kind of reaching that leg away from me, nice and long, reach, 2, 3, and up. And again, place the head down again if you need to. Nice deep breath in again, and exhale, folding forward. So this time we're going to go into rotation. We're going to take that nice twist, keeping the shoulders open, reaching the leg away, and we're going to pulse it down, 2, 3. And as I do that, I'm really encouraging myself to increase the rotation there and pull it in, going to the other side, reach the leg out, and I'm pulsing it down and reaching those arms away from me as I try to increase the rotation from the base of my rib cage there, pulsing that in, bringing it in, and placing the head down. Give yourself a little hug again. Go back into your knee circles. Okay, so let's put the feet down. We're going to take the feet about as wide as the mat here. Arms are going to be open. We're going to allow the knees to roll over to one side. Allow for a nice gentle stretch, which means lowering yourself carefully and not just dropping into that if you're tight. Right? Just let gravity slowly take the weight of your legs to the floor. But as you anchor back through your opposite shoulder there, that's what's going to give you that nice stretch. Arms can be nice and wide there. We're going to turn our head away from our legs. And with that back arm, I'm going to reach over my head, bring it all the way around, circle it all the way around and down and back out. Reach. So I'm reaching my hand away from my opposite knee, pulling that hip away from my torso as I go all the way around and open. Then I'm going to reverse that. So on Friday, we did this whole slidey thing with the arms and the knees. So that's kind of what that feels like. I'm reaching out here and opening up and around. And one more nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale, up and around. And then carefully engage your core first, hips back, knees come up. And again, take your time with this. You just want to lower your legs carefully so that you don't pull too hard on each side of your body. Just slowly let gravity and your breath kind of encourage that release. And I'm looking away from my knees this time on that side, just encouraging a little bit more rotation. And then this arm is going to reach over my head, come around, stretch, and come down. And again, reach over and around, come up and down. And then we'll go the other way. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Reach that out and over it. Good. And then bring those knees up. Okay, so we're going to go into hip rolls from now. Now that we've kind of stretched out a little bit of our T-band and hips here, we'll go into some hip rolls. So just adjust yourself accordingly. Okay, so arms nice and wide. We're going to just start with our imprint and release. So if you push with your feet, you're going to get this nice rocking action through your body. Okay, so we can try that. It's actually a nice way to loosen up the body when you do that. But in a hip roll, we don't want to start with that. So we come back to our neutral position. You can take a breath in. And what we want to do is start with our exhale, drawing that air all the way out. And we want to keep exhaling, exhaling, exhaling until we feel our core muscles pull our navel to our spine and pull our spine to the floor into an imprint. That's what you want to start with, the abdominals contracting. Then we're going to push into the feet and feel our glutes connect. And I just want you to do that first little squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and tuck, and release and squeeze and tuck. Because if we go through that too fast, it all very quickly becomes a back exercise. We want it to be a core and leg exercise, back of the legs preferably, right? Inhaling and exhaling. So we just want to make sure we're really getting that part of the movement down. Core, glutes, and hamstrings, and release and core, glutes, and hamstrings. And then we're going to stay in that position here. Okay, so just with that small little tuck and roll here, I'm going to walk my feet in if I need to. Just going to lift my heels up and down. A little tuck and roll here. I just want to keep that feeling of engaging through the back of the legs, scooping through my tummy. My hips don't have to be too high, right? I'm just kind of waking up the back of my legs. At the same time, I'm stretching my thighs here. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Now I'm going to lift both heels and lower both heels. Lift both heels, lower the heels. And again, I'm feeling like a hollow bowl scooping out through my tummy. Nice deep breath. And we're also, if you can't feel it, is stretching our hip flexors, inhaling and exhaling there, and then lowering your bum and give your butt a little shake there. Okay, so let's go up a little bit higher here. So just remember, this is not about using your back muscles. It's really about using your legs. Core engages to support to start. So we're going to breathe in to prepare. Start the same way. Exhale the air out first, then we press through the legs, start to tuck the tail. Now we're going to start to reach those hips over out towards the knees and really lengthen up. And again, really squeeze the tush here, right? Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, starting from the chest, rolling that down. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling to roll that out. Good, and give your hips a little shake. Nice deep breath in again. Exhale, follow the air out first, then start to press into the feet. Good, start to feel how much more aware you are of working these muscles, because we started with a little bit more sense of that, right? Inhaling and exhaling to roll that down, taking your time here, keeping those glutes and hamstrings on until my pelvis touches the floor, and then we're releasing that at the end. And then we'll do that again, inhaling and exhaling. Up you go. And then we're going to stay there and hold that. So here, instead of using my back, I'm just going to press up with my butt and release again. Press, release. Kind of like what we did at the bottom range, but at the top range. Press and release. So this is all happening right here, right? Not in my spine, right? All in my glutes and hamstrings. Press and release. Exhaling, inhaling, inhaling and exhaling deeply. And then as we do that, we're going to lift the heels and lower them, and lift the heels and lower them, and lift the heels and lower them, and make it work. And then we'll lift our heels and hold them up as we roll down. Feel the burn all the way to the floor and shake it out. Good time for figure four. And so, well-deserved butt stretch here. If you've got your elastic or a rope or a belt, that can help, assist in that. If you want to just grab one leg and bring it in towards your chest, you can take this top leg and grab it as well. Another form of figure four. With a little hamstring stretch. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Let's just quickly do the other leg as well a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to take our elastic back in hand. So we're going to grab the elastic again if you've got it, or a belt will do, or you can just pretend you have one if you don't, right? I'm going to put the feet into the elastic, toes apart, heels together. Remember that? Toes apart, heels together. So I'm in a little V with my feet. I'm going to bring my legs down. I'm going to probably take what I call that milking grip, so my wrist stays nice and straight here. So elbows by your side. We're going to start to lift the head. So exhale, I'm going to start to press into that elastic. Press and release and press and release. It actually might be a little bit more useful to bring your hands to the center with those knees open and press. Really fully engage the legs and release and press. Release. And holding yourself in flexion, right? You may need to put a hand behind your head if that helps. And press and release. Try to really squeeze those inner thighs together at the end there. And squeeze. Release. Two more. Reach and release and press. Release. And let's bring our head down for a moment. We're going to turn our legs parallel. That might mean just a little bit of an adjustment for the feet. Arms go wide now. Take a breath in to nod the chin. Exhale, coming up. We're gonna press and release, press and release. If you watch the resistance video that I have with the tubing, we have all these exercises in it, but you don't have to do all this upper body work to anchor. You can keep your head down if you like, or keep it up. Really great little workout there. One more, and holding that out. And come on down. Okay, so keeping the head down, we're going to straighten out the legs. Feel the core challenge here, not letting your back come off the floor, right? We're going to keep the back nice and flat. We're going to bring the legs down a little bit and then lift them up. And exhale, press away and bring them up. So you only can come down as far as you can keep your back flat. So this is what we call an imprint, right? So holding that back nice and flat there, inhaling and exhaling. Nice deep breath. And one more. And bring the legs up. And we're going to bring one foot out of the elastic here. Okay, so I'm going to start to nod the chin, lift the head, take a nice deep breath in, exhale, pressing into that elastic. Let's see if we can bring ourselves up through that C curve into our teaser position, and then roll yourself back down again and bend your knee back in again. Inhale, exhale, press that out, curl it up, and roll it back down again. Inhale, exhale, roll it up, and curl it back and down. Nice deep breath in again, inhaling and exhaling, and roll it in, and we'll change legs. Okay, give your shoulders a little check. Make sure that they're not kind of up around your ears. We're keeping the chest nice and wide. Anytime you use the TheraBand with your hands being the anchor, your arms being the anchor, it's always a good upper back workout, right? So that you don't kind of cave into these positions. That's not a good anchor position for your body, right? So we want to protect the neck at all times. We're going to nod the chin, keep the shoulders down. I'm pulling down into my lats as I press into that. And again, I've said this before, even if you can only come up a little bit, it's better to do this than to fudge through your back, kind of getting involved too much, right? You want to just stay where your core works, right? Because that's what we're here for, right? Inhaling and exhaling. And then maybe one day you'll make it up, maybe not. Inhaling and exhaling is a great thing about being at home. Nobody sees you, nobody cares, right? And there's no sense of competition, right? Which is just kind of seems to be instinctive for us humans. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's try one more. Again, if your neck bothers you, you bring yourself down sooner than later, right? But I always keep my chin tucked in because I know you need to support my neck a little bit. Okay, so let's switch back to the first leg. And now we're going to move ourselves into a more neutral position, right? So I'm going to allow this bottom leg to stretch out. It can even lengthen completely out if I want to, or it can be bent. But I want to be in a more neutral position here, right? Okay, we're going to do small circles here. So the focus here is you just finding your core. The leg is kind of just a mechanism to picture your core muscles here and try to create that nice length through your body. Again, let's go the other way, inhaling and exhaling. So again, now we're straightening out. So we've come from flexion to a nice full long neutral spine, which is kind of where we want to end up. We don't want to finish our work in flexion. We want to make sure that we're always referring back to neutral here. And then we're going to get back in the first direction, but we're going to make bigger circles. So it's actually going to be more of a stretch for the legs. But at the same time, as those legs move away from the center, you're going to find some challenge for your obliques, right? So the muscles on the opposite side of the body, gently drawing you down as you feel that stretch through the hips and the legs. I spend a good half hour stretching in the morning, right? So you could either do that before or after this kind of a workout. But if you have the time, it's really well worth spending this extra time that we have getting into like stretchy is a good routine of stretching, even light stuff. I just look at my joints and I go through them all really simply, and I do whatever I can to relax them and open them up first thing in the morning. Good. Now we're going to keep that leg across the body, right? So I'm going to let my hip come off the floor a little bit, and then I'm going to pull my hip back into the floor. So I'm going to root that hip back down again, navel to spine. Again, we're trying to pivot on a nice neutral axis here. Pull the hip back, inhaling and exhaling there. Trying to stretch the IT band. We're trying to let gravity take the weight of the leg, but my core muscles are anchoring and opposing the stretch. So that's what gives me the stretch there. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to bend my knee into my chest here. I'm going to take the knee out to the side and just allow it to stay open there. Opposite hip stays grounded here as I just stretch through my groin and inner thigh here. And if you'd like to stretch that leg out, fine, or you can just keep it bent. Right? This is a really important area for us to stretch. We get to do that a lot on the reformer, so we want to make sure we, you know, have that, you know, when we do our side splits and stuff like that, really get those muscles. Even lightly is good, right? So you don't have to overdo that. Bring the leg back to the center and let's switch to the other side. So we started with small circles, right? Back in neutral. Again, just challenging our aware. Where is if your leg is too high and you're not, and your spine is flexed, your hips are flexed, we're not in neutral, then that's kind of not kind of the purpose of the exercise. We're trying to really feel what neutral should feel like. So if your leg needs to be lower to be neutral, or the knee needs to be bent to be neutral, that's all good. Then we're just scooping in through our abdominals here, and then we're going to go the other way. Inhaling, exhaling. Again, trying to loosen up my hip. This hip's a little tighter. I can feel it. This is what these things are for, is to really bring your awareness into your body and what's going on there. Okay, so I'm going to go bigger circles now. Bigger, wider, longer. Again, seeing what happens to the body. It's a dynamic stretch. So there's a little bit of stability involved, a little bit of mobility or bigger range of motion. Again, I can feel that tightness in my hips, so I'm going to take my time through that. Inhaling and exhaling, go the other way. And feel free to change your elastic into the hand that supports you the most. For me, it's the opposite hand to that leg right now. Over we go. One more big circle, and then we're going to keep it into the stretch. We'll go over into our nice stretch there. So I'm going to start pulling my hip back to the floor and then releasing it again. And then pulling the hip back to the floor, navel to spine, scooping in the tummy and releasing. Pull with the hip and release. Pull from the hip. And then we're going to bend that knee in and slowly open the knee to the other side. Again, feeling the stretch to the groin. Again, I'm changing the elastic a little bit. Opposite, it stays on the ground. If you like to stretch out that leg, you can, or you just can keep it bent. Good, navel to spine here. Shoulders open. Opposite shoulder is kind of grounding the whole thing. Opposite hip. A little bit tighter. Maybe I don't want to go that wide. Maybe I'll just bring it in a little bit and try to think about anchoring my hips as opposed to just having them free form. Nice deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, so just a little light hamstring stretch here. We'll stick with that same leg and just playing with that a little bit to see all the different fibers of your hamstrings will kind of talk to you a little bit. Right? Knee can be soft and bent here if you like. Tail on the ground. Nice deep breath. And let's just do that quickly on the other leg as well. Nice while the legs are a little bit warm to do these kind of stretches. Okay, nice deep breath, and then we'll put the elastic to the side. Okay, so find the back of one leg, take a nice deep breath in, lift the head, press into that leg, bring yourself up to sitting position. Let's put both hands behind the knees. We're going to walk back onto our tippy toes. Actually, let's just do this a little bit more just as a warm up. So both hands, let's just stay with behind that leg, and we'll roll back and press into that hand. So we're rolling back, and then we're going to press the thigh into our hand to get that core working. Inhaling and exhaling. Press that thigh into the hand. And we'll try that on the other side. Rolling back and press the thigh into the hand to come up. Rock it back and press it in. These aren't very big, right? They're just, again, go for the scoop. Exhale, press it in. Good little warm up, and then we'll take both hands behind. If this exercise does not work for your spine, just go back to what we were doing a moment ago. But if we can, we're going to roll back a little bit and then press your thighs into your hands there to come up. So rolling back, just trying to control that roll, and exhale, press into your thighs and try to bring yourself up. Inhale, rock it back, scoop it back, and exhale, press and release. And one more, rock it back and exhale, press and release. Good. And let's take it all. Actually, let's roll over from here. Let's go back onto our hands and knees. But let's start with a little bit of a pigeon stretch. I know some of you, this might not work for you. So again, you got to find something that does. I'm just trying to stretch out my hip flexor again a little bit before we go into some hip extension. So again, you can come all the way down to the ground if you like, or you can just stay up. You can even put a pillow underneath yourself there. Just doing a little quick stretch for the front of my groin and my hip. And I'm using my arms, right? My arms are really supporting me here, right? So I'm not sinking or caving into them. They're actually allowing me to lower myself as much as I feel comfortable. If this is the amount of stretch that you can manage, that's fine. If you can go deeper into it, right? If you can go all the way down, it really depends on your knee, your hips, lots of things, right? I'm getting a cramp in my foot. So a nice little pigeon stretch. Rock that out so your hips are nice and open. Okay, so because we're going to be going into some straight legs now. Okay, so we're going back to our upper body stuff. We broke this up from Friday. We did a whole bunch of this all in a row on Friday. Now we're kind of going back to this idea. We're going to start on the forearms, and we're going to go into the straight legs plank pretty much position, right? Okay, so holding that position, squeeze your legs together, take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're just going to extend one leg. So I'm just pointing the toes there. We're going to rock backwards and forwards on the foot 3 times, inhaling and exhaling, and then put that foot down. Again, if you need to put your knees down in between, fine. Squeeze your legs together when you're ready. Take a nice deep breath in, and the other leg extends, and we point and flex, and I'm rocking on that other foot, inhaling and exhaling there, and then legs together, and we'll bring the knees down for a moment and just relax your toes there. You can go into a little C curve or stretch out. Come off your shoulders if you like. Wiggle your toes there a little bit, and we're going to do that again. Okay, so big breaths here. As you get tired, you want to breathe more. Nice deep breath, inhale and exhale to come up. Now, the alternative is just to stay on one knee and do it, right? But if you can, bring your legs off the ground, take a nice deep breath in, point your toe. Rocking forward, rocking back, rocking forward, rocking back, rocking forward, rocking back, foot down, other leg, rocking forward, rocking back, rocking forward, rocking back, rocking forward. One more time, rocking back, put the foot down, lower the knees, and we'll walk our knees underneath us and stretch out those arms. Okay, so we are going to continue with more arm work, right? So just can feel that blood flowing through those arms, stretch them out. We can just give them a good stretch there, make sure they're not getting kind of bound up in their own tension, right? Stretching them out, opening them up. Feel my nice little hyperextension there. Inhaling and exhaling. Just keep that circulation going. Good. And now it's going to become a bit more wristy, right? So we want to make sure that our wrists are okay. Again, I have a really nice thick mat. I can fold it over, and that takes some of that flexion. I don't know if you can see that. Take some of the flexion out of my wrist so it's not so acutely flexed, especially with these squishier mats, right? So that's kind of what I like to do. Okay, so shoulders nice and wide here. We know that when we go into these positions, we feel stronger when we're wider. We don't want to be up and around our neck, right? So legs together, I'm tucking my toes in, and I'm going into a full plank here in this position, right? So it's a nice straight spine. So there's a difference between here. I could see myself with a little bit of a tuck of my tail actually causes that roundness in my shoulders. As my pelvis comes into neutral, my shoulders become more open, and you can see the front of my body is a little bit straighter. My hips are a little bit straighter. We're just going to rock backwards and forwards in that position. Again, pressing off of my hands. I know it's tricky not to round your body as you press off of them, but think about breathing wide through your shoulders there. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're just going to bring the knees down. Okay, so that's all we're going to do there, because we've got more arm work to do in the reverse position, and basically I want you to save it for this, right? Okay, so well, again, we'll go for a little shoulder stretch first, and then we're just gonna go palms down here. We're just gonna sink the chest and lift the chest. Again, feel that stretch through the shoulders as we sink and we lift and sink, curl it in and open up. And again, feel that nice stretch for the pecs, right? And then we'll come up, palms facing out on the edge of your mat. We're going to let our shoulders sink in again. And this time as they open up, we're going to lift the hips and open this way. And rolling everything in, we'll curl that in. Open the shoulders, press into the feet, open that up again. Trying to get those hips level. Kind of peek at your hips and notice if they are level, because you might have one of them coming up a little higher than the other, right? And then they also might drop a little bit differently as they come down. Inhaling and exhaling, here comes the sun, depending on what part of the world you're in or what part of the city you're in. Inhaling and exhaling. One more nice deep breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Last time. Feel those glutes press firmly into those feet. Lift that up and come on down. Okay, just shake out your wrists. Okay, we've got one more thing to do with that. Okay, so just before we proceed or continue with that feeling, when we lift our hips in that position, you don't want to let your head go too far back. I'm keeping my chin kind of tucked in. I'm kind of lengthening this way long through the back of my head. Here, I'm not kind of curling it in because that curls my shoulders, but you definitely don't want your chin up in the air for these, right? Because it causes the weight of the head to pull back, and then you tend to lose your core a little bit as well, right? Okay, so this is, again, it's an optional thing. If this doesn't work for your legs or your arms for some reason, just go back to those hip lifts at whatever level you can manage. But this is something I wanted to try on Friday. We didn't get time to do it, so we're going to do it today. My legs are long. Now, if you're one of these, or straight, right? If you're one of these people that has a lot of hyperextension in their knees, right? You know, that they kind of bow back a lot, right? Because you've got hypermobility. Good thing to turn the legs out, and that'll help support against the glutes and working. And for a lot of people, turning the legs out might feel a little bit better. So parallel is a little harder on the hip flexors. Turned out is a little bit easier, okay? Again, so this one might take us a few tries or a few days to get it really working well. But let's see, the other thing you don't want is to have your hands too close to you, because what we're going to do, people, is we're going to be lifting the hips. And if my hands are too close, I'm going to end up hinging backwards that way. And then my arms aren't very supportive of me, right? Here, they're more triangulated, right? As I lift my hips, you'll notice that my weight goes back and my shoulders come on top of my hands, right? Because I'm going backwards a little bit. So you don't want your hands here to start with. You're going to go back towards your hands, right? So with straight legs and a strong core, we're going to press firmly into the arms. As we exhale, we're going to press firmly into the feet and try to lift your bum up into the air, right? So really fully engaging those legs. As I press down into my feet, I'm going to open up through my collarbones as much as I can, and then I'm going to fold in there. Now, I couldn't do this one. I remember the first time I did it was a combination of having too tight hips, hip flexors, right? It took me a while to figure out how to keep my shoulders open, but a lot of it had to do with my tight hip flexors, right? So you can try that with one leg, right? Trying to get that hip open, or you can try it with the other leg. But I like us to practice these because there's an evolution to these exercises that's really intense, but really excellent workout, right? So just try that one leg at a time if you need to. Open up the hip, try to feel your abdominals engaged, press down into that straight leg, open up that hip. We'll try that on the other side. And then if you would like to try the two legs, if your arms haven't completely collapsed on you, let's try those two legs, lifting that up again. And last time, nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, and come on down and shake out the arms. Right? You could try that on your elbows, but it would be very hard because there's a lot of gravitation pull there. Okay, so get into a position whether you're sitting on something or not. Hands can be up the wall if you don't like sitting, because we're going to fold forward to stretch the arms. But if folding forward is hard on your hips, you can take your hands on the wall and just stretch them up a little bit, right? Because we're just spending that moment to stretch out our arms. If you want to just bend forward, here you can do that. And just reaching nice and long, and then you can reach to one side of the mat. Just feel the stretch now, not just in your back and your shoulders, but all the way through those arms. It's really good to say that you've really worked out your arms today. It's amazing how you can use your own body weight to tone your body, right? As opposed to using free weights. Your body weight is way more of a challenge sometimes than those free weights. But yeah, you have to know how to approach these things properly, right? So again, sitting in a comfortable position, you can get on your chair if you like. We're just going to go into some stretches again. We just gently rotate there. It looks like you're going to have a really nice day today. Hopefully you've got some outdoor activities planned. Yeah, walking around your block. Sitting on your balcony, that's my sitting on my back porch there. That's my outdoor activity. I've been going for a bike ride. You can stay 6 feet away from people on a bike, which is nice. Okay, let's take a hand over the head. Just go into a gentle side stretch. So the resistance band exercises that we did on Wednesday, we actually made a whole exercise class out of these resistance bands. Was a lot of upper body work. We started working a little bit more through the shoulders, just so that some shoulder warm-ups, and then today continuing with the shoulder and upper body workout. I'm hoping that you're enjoying it and not hurting yourself with it. All right. Okay, so we're going to stand up and just do a couple of things to finish off here, standing. All right. Okay, so let's just start taking one arm up into the air here. We're just going to slowly let the other arm slide down the side of our body. We're going to start to bend that top arm and wrap it around our head. We're just gently going to curl the arm forward a little bit and then bring it back up again. And then just feel your whole chest lift as a way of initiating, bringing that up again and release. And then the other arm lifts. I'm going to turn my head to look down. This arm's going to slide down. I'm going to bend this elbow, reach it over my head there. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Deep breath. And then use your breath to lift up through your chest and your sternum. Good. And then take the arm down. And then we're going to slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. And nice soft. I always want to feel that heaviness in my tail so it anchors me and I don't just start to tip forward from my hips, right? I really want to get the stretch for my mid back and my lower back. And if I let my bum go, I don't get any of that stretch. The upper body is the weight that stretches from the lower back. I keep tucking my tail as I release there. I'm going to give myself a little shake out there. Let go of all of that tension from your arms. Just ragdoll it, shake your wrists, shake your hands, press into your feet as you start to roll back up again. A nice loose arms there as you roll back up again. Nice wide stance here as we open up. And we're going to clasp the hands over the head. Gently lean a little bit into that from side to side. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll open our arms up again and start to roll down one more time. Head first, tail drops. So at this moment, that's when my tail gets heavy. It drops towards my heels. And then my mid and upper back can really hang. And then slowly it starts to tip me over, stretching that mid and lower back now as I release the weight of the chest here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of rotation because there's so many crisscrossing muscles there that I can feel.
Again, try not to tip from the hips. We're trying to stretch from that mid back here. Press firmly into the feet as you come up. Feel your legs engage, feel your glutes engage, feel your tummy pull up, feel your breath expand, that mid and upper back will roll your shoulders back and down. Let's bring your chin up towards the sky and just stretch the front line. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Center yourself and just feel your weight centered on your legs. You just want to feel how your body is expansive and strong now at this point in the day. You want to kind of maintain that expansive, strong feeling by pressing off the floor. Make sure you have that ground force reaction that you can feel all the way up to your upper body, right? So that we don't get kind of limp and kind of weak through our spines and bodies, right? Okay, that's it for today. Have a great week. If any of you have resistance bands, maybe you can join us on Wednesday. And if not, hopefully we'll see you Friday. Okay, take care, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, Vince. Bye.
Bye.